Welcome to another Hoops Prospect interview. My name is Lee Branscombe, and I'm joined by Rich and TJ. Today, we'll be speaking with North Dakota State's Tyson Ward. This season, Tyson was a first-team All-Summit selection, averaging 16.9 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game. With highly efficient shooting splits, he led the Summit in win share 6.3, which is 16th in the country, and finished in the top 10 in the conference in many other categories, including 6th with a true shooting percentage of 61.3%. Tyson, we appreciate you joining us today.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely. So what we're going to do is just alternate questions. I'm going to throw the first one at you. Just simply put, how does a kid from Tampa, Florida end up in Fargo, North Dakota?
I still ask myself that question every day. It happened my late recruiting. I got recruited late. It took me about until my beginning of my senior year to start getting recruited by Division I's, and then I waited and I wanted to take my visits. And late in the game, they came in and never heard of them before. My dad gave me some information about them. I looked them up, heard about some old stuff, and it was really cool. They had a winning culture, and that's what I wanted to be a part of. So I took a visit, committed before I got there, and then that's all she wrote.
That is awesome. Well, obviously it ended up being a pretty decent decision for you.
Yes, sir.
DJ?
Yep. Again, thank you for joining us, Tyson. So you steadily improved throughout your college career. Can you talk about your development as a player in the sense of where you made the biggest strides in your game while at North Dakota State?
Being more coachable, my maturity. In high school, even in college, I was a little bit of a hothead. But, over the years, I mellowed out and I learned how to control my emotions a little bit and not wear my heart on my sleeve. So that was the biggest thing. But developing more of being able to be more versatile than playing wherever I needed to be played, not being held to one singular spot. And that's where I think that I really developed most. I think my game was always there. And I've always been able to hone in on, the abilities that I've had, but, just the extra additives of being coachable and trying to be able to be used in different ways.
Tyson, you were talking about doing anything the team asked you to do, and you definitely proved you could score inside and out this past season. You shot 53% from the field, 41% from three, but you kind of had a non-traditional role for a wing in the sense that a good portion of your offense came from the post. Do you expect that to change as a pro? And if so, what type of role do you anticipate having?
I definitely expect it to change because, I'm not playing, I'm playing grown men now. I'm not saying anybody in my conference wasn't a grown man, but these dudes are these dudes are high level players, and it's always a good additive to the game that I can always come back to and use. But I believe that my game is going to come back to the way I was originally recruited, transition, rebounding, defense, and being able to knock down the open three and, be able to make my teammates better.
Okay. So is there anything that you think going forward that you weren't able to do at North Dakota State? For example, you weren't a primary ball handler. Is there anything you think you're going to be doing or you need to improve upon, in order to have good success?
There's always room for improvement. I'm never going to say that I've maxed out my potential. But I believe that, I always can hone in and get better on, my left hand and my right hand but get my ball handling better. But I think there's not really something that, that's specific. It'd probably be being able just to knock down the three more consistently. And I think that's my biggest area that I need to work on.
All right, I've got another question for you, Tyson. I was really curious about how you handled and processed what I imagine were probably conflicting emotions on, the kind of the bliss of winning the Summit League title this year and the conference championship, and then probably not too long after that, realizing you weren't going to get to play in an NCAA tournament. Like, can you talk about how that process was for you, or how both of those things made you feel?
I mean, obviously winning my junior year was definitely able to help me out with coping with the situation, because I had already been able to, accomplish that dream that every college player has. But, I had a lot of mixed emotions. I mean, I was happy that, we did it again, and we had a little bit of doubt that we could do it again. And, we had a great season, and then we did it again, and it was a great feeling. But, that feeling of finally like having everything taken away, it kind of stung a little bit, because I know that would have helped a lot of my team, like my teammates out, with coming into the next year with confidence, especially those freshmen. As for me, it definitely, hindered a little bit of recruitment, for the next level. And just, it hurt a lot of people that were in the same position as me. And I feel for them. And it definitely was tough for a minute.
Yeah, Tyson, this past season against Marquette, you played very well, albeit in a loss. You guarded one of the best scorers in the country in Marcus Howard and made him work for the points he scored. You were also very productive on the offensive end with 25 points on 9 for 14 shooting and 9 rebounds. Can you talk about your approach going into that game?
I approached it like every single game. I was more – at the beginning of the game, I was more excited about the fact that LeBron had just played Giannis the night before. I was just taking that in for a minute. But, I was just, it's just another opportunity to prove my worth. You go against, talent like that, you just want to be able to prove that, you're able to compete with, kid like Marcus Howard and a couple of other dudes on his team. So it was definitely, like a point for me to really show my abilities, but not go out of my way to do that. Always play within my game.
Tyson, we alluded to before, you've signed with the German BBL, one of the top leagues in the world outside the NBA. What was your reasoning behind signing with an international team before the draft? And do you see it as a no-lose decision and perhaps even enhancing your value as a draft and stash candidate?
I feel like the reason I chose it was obviously, I talked to my agent and my family, and we felt like it was the best decision, with no workouts or no Portsmouth and all that stuff. There wasn't a lot of I would say assurance that I was good enough to be in this draft right now. And I believe that was the best decision for me to make. It's a great way to start your career as a rookie. Not a lot of people get to play in the BBL as a rookie, and it's awesome. I'm truly blessed. But, I do believe that, me playing against better talent and, people that have been to the NBA, people that have played in the G League, and I show that I can play at that level, and I definitely believe that it could boost my draft stock.
What were your best moments at North Dakota State? Maybe kind of one from on the court and one from off the court, if you've got one of each.
I mean, obviously, my first one would be on the court with the tournament, man. It was, playing against, Duke, playing against Coach K, got a chance to play against, number 1 pick in the draft, a couple other top picks in the draft. And it was awesome, something you're going to tell your kids about. I mean, for me, it was, just an honor to, show my talents to Coach K. Probably in high school, you know who I am. But I'm pretty sure he knows who I am now.
Absolutely.
But off the court, it was probably being able to we had a kid my freshman year. His name was Landon Solberg. He passed the cancer right before my senior year, and he died to cancer. And we found out my freshman year that he had it, and he came into the locker room, and he's always been with us ever since. And the junior year, we finally won. And, we were able to get him a ring. So luckily I was able to give him the speech and everything and be able to hand him that ring. And at that point, the cancer had pretty much made them unable to speak and stuff like that. So it was very emotional for me and some of my teammates. So
Yep.
it was definitely a big moment for me because, you know, I definitely was the person that really wanted to do it. So that's definitely one of the biggest moments like that really that helped me out a lot.
Thanks for sharing that. That was awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so funny that you brought up Duke. That leads me to my next question about who's the best player you played against? Last year you played Duke in the tourney. Is there any other players that you want to mention that were probably the stiffest competition for you?
I mean, my league's always produced like some great players. TBT, you had Mike Dom. You guys got to see him play against War Tampa or whatever, and he was killing. He's always giving us trouble. John Conchar from my league from Fort Wayne. He's plays for the Grizzlies. He's killer. Matt Mooney from South Dakota State played at Texas Tech. I've played against a lot of great players, man. The list goes on for my college career, and I can't really say who the best was, but I believe that I played my fair share of talent.
Tyson, I'm going to wrap this up, but I wanted to say Mike Dom had a nice first year. He went the same route as you and had a very nice year in the Spanish ACB last year.
Very good.
But I'm going to wrap this up by just basically saying, what happens next? When do you leave for Germany? Will you immediately begin working with the team, or do they give you some time to get settled in a new country?
I leave the 23rd, so this Sunday. I'll probably get there on the 24th around the morning. Go in, and I have to get the COVID test and everything now. And, you know, if anybody that I travel with is positive, have to quarantine for 14 days. And so basically when I'm back out of quarantine, that's when stuff starts. So September 1st is the scheduled date for first practice. So hopefully, you know, everything goes smoothly and I'm able to get out on court and be ready to go.
Well, we really wish you luck, Tyson.
I appreciate that.
And it was great talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
This
very much,
has been
Tyson.
another Hoops Prospect interview. Thank you for joining us today, Tyson. Wish you best in the future and good luck in Germany.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Tyson.